Welcome everyone, we'll be starting momentarily. Welcome Ariel, welcome Ghostback Gladys. Dakota, welcome. Thank you for the 50, Dakota. The one busy guy. Thank you everybody for inviting. I know I spelt it wrong. Welcome. Hey, Ariel. Alright everyone, welcome to Definitive Talk. Today is definitely going to be quite interesting. We have two things going on tonight. So first, we have our guest, Jim DeMio, and he will be talking to us about some of the things with cryptocurrency and how it actually affects us here, and you know, a lot more in that area. After that, we're going to be moving on over to talking about the new not terms of service, but the rules and guidelines, community guidelines that just came out 2 days ago, I believe it is now, about 2.5 days ago. And I'm going to say probably there's going to be a lot of upset people. But we'll let you make that what do you call it? We'll let you be the one to make the decision. So, thank you everybody that's given any gifts. Thank you everybody for being here. I see some faces I haven't seen in such a long time. Glimmer, Glimmer, Glimmer. Welcome, welcome. Deanna, welcome. Onyx, welcome. And let me see if I can find Mr. DeMio. I know he's in here. Oh, there he is. Oh. Now, for those that have been watching each episode, if you've missed any, it is on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Oh, okay, he's probably on the phone. He's on, or every one of these are on the YouTube channel, so if you ever want to go back and look at them, feel free to do so. Not a problem, Jim. And last week was the first episode that I recorded over there, so you'll absolutely be able to see those and what information is on them. Yes, Glimmer, it's been quite a while. I was thinking about you tonight. I was outside before I went to bed, and I was going to call, and I looked. I was like, yeah, she would kill me if I called right now, so not going to do that. But, yeah, it's been a while. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, a lot of people have been missing you. A lot of people are asking if you're okay, and I know that you were, because I would have gotten a phone call immediately from your loving children. So yeah, it has been a while. Yes, Deanna, it's been a while for you as well. So I'm glad that you guys are all here. So as we're waiting, Jim will explain this too, his background. He does run a business from home and has to be available at all times to his clients. So we're just waiting. He is here. Still have a few hiccups that are being taken care of. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to see that you are here and everything's going well. Because you can't keep Glimmer down. If anyone knows Glimmer, you know you can't keep her down. So, but yes, guys, and just a little bit more information on these new rules and guidelines. Again, I'll make sure you guys know where to actually find them, and they are dated. And the first ones that we went over was the terms of service, and this is nothing compared. Terms of service is like a piece of cake compared to these. And I don't know if something happened, or, you know, I don't want to, you know, say, oh, there was a lawsuit or something, because I don't know what happened. I do know a lot of people were complaining, filing complaints with the office. Again, I don't know if that was the reason. Dakota, thank you for the 50. But there is major changes. So you guys, I want each and every one to know exactly what those changes are, so that you know what you have to follow. And this is for any user on the platform, not just broadcasters, not just partners. It's for everybody. Thank you for the sticker. Thank you. Oh, and I think Jim is ready. So let me scroll up here. Dun dun dun. Oh, that was pretty good. So far, no glitches. I like that. Bum, bum.
Hello, Matt.
Hello. And I can hear you.
You can or you can't?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
No, I can.
Okay, good. Okay.
I know the first time we weren't able to connect right away, so the gods must be looking down.
Well, I've had sort of a hardware apocalypse. Like, all of my Microsoft live cams need the driver updates, and my Mac won't play Flash on my browsers, and I have to like reboot it. So I'm coming to you from my phone.
10 minutes before I went on, it crashed. Everything crashed. So I understand. So,
well, thanks for having me on the program. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I was curious to know if you had when we spoke earlier, you said that when you're on, you constantly get some questions in regards to cryptocurrency. Do you have any, maybe from the get-go, that I could maybe answer?
Well, I think there's a lot of confusion because either they're not using the resources that are there, but on Rise, you're finding a lot of people see this Ethereum and they're extremely confused as to what it is and, well, what do we do with what's there and how is it processed? So I thought it would be a good thing to explain that.
Okay. Well, there are major coins. Bitcoin, everyone knows what Bitcoin is. And Bitcoin is based on a blockchain. A blockchain is why Bitcoin exists. It's a ledger, or it's just it's a very long list of every transaction that was ever made from the beginning of the first Bitcoin. Okay, so Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin, but it uses a different algorithm. So it's a coin that was built differently than Bitcoin, and it has its own blockchain. So it has its own ledger. Many of the coins that you hear kind of floating around, and the cryptocurrency market has about 1,600 different variables of coins and tokens today. But Ethereum is number 2. It's the second best coin. It is a coin. It has its own blockchain that people use to create different applications. Okay, so right now the popular thing is decentralized, and decentralized means that everyone has everyone's information. Not one person has information on transactions. So like a bank would be a centralized organization where you would have to go to the bank. The bank has all of your records inside the bank, and you have to trust the bank that they have the right records. Right. In a decentralized environment, then you have different blockchains where every time someone pays for something, or they use coins to buy something or make any kind of transaction, everyone gets the same information. So right now you could go on to, it's called Etherscan. And I apologize, I'm on my phone. I had everything set up. I had PDFs to share, and and I can send it to you later, but Etherscan.com, and basically this gives you access to the blockchain itself. So right. The reason why Rise has Ethereum is sort of like the number 2 currency in cryptocurrency. It's something that you want. It's very valuable, and it has a limited supply. Like Ethereum right now is about $530 a coin. Right. Okay, so back in January, it got all the way up to $1,300 a coin. So to put that into like Rise proportions, if you earned 1.0 Ethereum, it'd be like $35. Not bad for talking. Then keep moving that decimal point up. For one Ethereum is actually worth a fiat amount of US dollars, which right now is around $530. Now I don't know if they've changed the naming convention of the token that's being used by Rise, or if it's just being called a token, or it's still something else. But the value of that still is unknown. You really can't put a value on that token because it's not traded in an exchange. So right now people believe that it will have value, but you can't measure it with anything. If that were to get onto an exchange, for those that don't know, just like the NASDAQ, or in New York when you go to Wall Street and you want to invest in Apple or IBM or Facebook, they're traded on an exchange. And an exchange exists. There's like probably 500 exchanges that now exist for cryptocurrency. So if the tokens that you're earning from Rise ever get into an exchange, and they probably will, because it only makes sense, that's the natural progression of tokens and coins, and people find value in it, then over the course of the last year or so, maybe less than a year that Rise has been live, those coins that you've accumulated, those tokens that you've accumulated, will go up in value. I mean, that's basically how every cryptocurrency works. It works on a belief system.
Right.
So, in other words, back in 2017, a lot of people said, wow, this is new. I want to get in. I'm going to create a coin that's like the Jesus coin, or I'm going to be a millionaire coin. Or, like Millionaire Coin was a coin. and people were like, "Oh my God, I have to have it," and the coin was only worth like 1/1000th of a penny, but because of the marketing and because of the buzz, and people didn't want to miss out on this big new get rich quick, that coin went all the way up to like 20 cents. So imagine if you would have invested like $1,000 into that at 1/1000th of a penny, you'd be close, like $500,000 in your account. But anyway, that's all sort of simmered down this year. We're in what's called like a bear market. Bear market means that a lot of people are selling and not really buying. And in a bull market, it means people are buying and they're not really selling. Let's get back. I'm trying to explain pieces as I get to them. So I guess getting back to what is Ethereum and why is it on Rise? I think Rise as a company made a good move to actually show you value in accumulating Ethereum rather than just showing you a number of tokens. Okay. Now there's a pairing. Okay. There's a pairing, just like you exchange US dollars for euros or francs, whatever. That's a pairing. Okay. Or Canadian dollars. Each pairing has a conversion rate. So since they're using Ethereum with a token, my assumption is that they're going to use that as a pairing. So when you want to buy tokens to be used on Rise later down in their I guess their roadmap, you would use Ethereum to buy them. And then vice versa. If you have tokens and you want to exchange them, you would exchange them for Ethereum, and then you would convert Ethereum into whatever your fiat currency would be to collect your money. Before I came on, I checked. I think I have like 0.0006 or something, but no, it's definitely a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, and I when I looked at it, because I've been keeping track every day that I go on and what my engagement is and what did that equal to, like if it was a half hour versus an hour, what did that mean? And it's pretty amazing how quickly just a single hour can make those numbers go quite a ways up, especially if you're the broadcaster in that particular room that you're in.
Right. I never understood the dynamics of how you earned tokens, but from what I read in the white paper, it was pretty much engagement. There was like 3 or 4 different things. One was engagement, meaning like if you're on Rise every day, same time for X amount of minutes, it equals X amount of tokens, or fractions of a token. And then the more people that you invite to talk, that's more. So it was a list of engagement that made that percentage or that value go up and down. You can never lose tokens. You can only gain them.
Right.
And of course it has to do with, getting the 5 crowns, people that you engage with, they give you stickers, and all of that equates into how quickly you accumulate the tokens. And in some cases, multiples. You see the multiples when you have like 5 crowns and it's like 5 times, 10 times, 50 times. That is sort of just to excite and to as a catalyst for more people to continue to give you stickers. But on the back end, it's almost like you have to do 95% of what's asked of you during your engagement on a regular basis to really make those token numbers go up. Now, Ethereum, on the other hand, Ethereum is now a very valuable commodity. So I haven't read anything yet. I don't know what the algorithm would be of how that's generated. But from what you just said, it looks as if you've been kind of accumulating some since it's been added. Right.
Yeah, it's amazing how just even little things just make it go up significantly. There was one day that I actually went on for, I think it was like 10 minutes, and all those zeros, I only had 2 filled in, and it said 14. Then I went the next day and I was on for like an hour and a half, and like maybe 7 of them are filled. So, yeah, and I know like the tokens, because I questioned the tokens and how they move. I did not know, but there's only so many tokens that can be handed out. And what they do is they see how many people were on the platform for that day and what the engagement was, and then they split it amongst those people according to what their engagement was. So I didn't see the tokens going up for a whole week, and I was wondering, okay, well, something's not right. But what she had said was, you are accumulating tokens every day, but you might not have a full one in order to make it go up, so they hold it until you do. So made a little bit more sense to me in that line.
Well, I'm reading an article that was posted. Again, I wish I was on the computer. I'd post it in your feed. It's from May 31st, so it was quite some time ago when they first introduced Ethereum to the Rise platform.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes on to say that, you know, in addition to the tokens of the props token, ETH rewards will enable our product team to experiment with props backend infrastructure, the props reward engine, and front-end user experience with cryptocurrency and wallets ahead of props tokens' official introduction to the app. Okay, so let me explain to you what that means.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to send you $100 in Ethereum, okay,
right,
we would both have an address. I would go to my account and I would send it to you, but you have to pay what's called gas. Gas is like a very, very small amount of money, or Ethereum, that allows the transaction to go from me to you. Now, people mine Ethereum and they mine Bitcoin. Now, by mining means that their computers are using their video cards to figure out mathematical equations that validate everyone's transactions. Okay, so in very simple terms, for me to send $100 to Matthew, the equation 2 plus 2 has to equal 4. But I could tell you that 2 plus 2 equals 5, you know. But since we're in a decentralized environment, 10 to 15 other people that have the same information that I do, that know that I'm sending you $100, all know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. So you will get your $100. But for them to tell me that I'm not a liar, those 15 people get paid in gas, okay? Mm-hmm. And then that trickles up to them solving. So let's just say okay. It's more complex. I'm trying to simplify it really.
Right.
But they earn Ethereum too by validating everyone else's transactions, okay? Right. And they earn what's called a block. That's why it's called the blockchain, okay?
Yep.
So a block contains the ledger of everyone who's ever done anything. I mean, it could be huge, but every time something is validated, you know, it adds to that blockchain, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So, you know, and so on until infinity. So the $100 I send to you could cost $100.02. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the reason why they're saying they're adding Ethereum to props is they're going to need some money, very, very little amount, to pay the miners to experiment what they just said. So they're experimenting with the back-end infrastructure of props, the reward engine, the front-end user experience. But as they are doing this kind of stuff, they have to pay the miners that are validating their work.
Right.
And I think they chose a very well-used and known to be pretty stable blockchain of Ethereum. I mean, there are other companies out there that are designing their own blockchain. I mean, there's like EOS, NEO, Tron. I think all these different, I'm going to call them crypto scientists and engineers. They're trying to create the next best way for the least amount of money, the fastest way to transfer information, whether it's money or you can buy a house. You can buy a house on the blockchain. You can list your house. I'm going to sell my house for 500 Bitcoin or whatever. That's a lot, but it's all contained on the blockchain, so no one can stiff you out of a deal. They can say,
Right.
nah, I wanted 450, but no. Everyone else is validated. It was 500. And then you save the brokerage fees, you save the realtor's commission, you save the marketing websites that you put your house on. I mean, this one guy down in Texas sold his house by a phone thing, just over the phone. Here, I'll send you X amount of Bitcoin for your house, and then you validate it, and boom, the house is yours. They sign a deed over, and it's over. I mean, nowadays it takes my buddy just bought a house, 30 days to settle on a house.
Right.
You go through all the paperwork with the banks and everything, but now there's no bank. Your bank is your phone.
I know there will always be people that question it, but yeah, I mean, these are situations that are so simple. Where you said it made 30 days to close on a house. Yeah, absolutely.
So it says, can Rise make you rich? Dakota asks. Yes and no. It's not going to make you rich overnight, but if you are an influencer, as you know what that is, an influencer is constantly online, constantly talking to his fans. Are you still there, Matthew? You look frozen.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. If you're an influencer, I mean, whether you're on someone else or Rise, I mean, Rise is one of the few video chat applications that has gone into cryptocurrency and Ethereum. So I think it's going to get better. And by what I mean better is they're going to start to use it more often. So it's going to give you, as the content provider, more opportunities to be online and to bring a bigger audience to Rise. And by doing that and supporting the app, you're going to get rewarded with Ethereum. And since cryptocurrency is in its infancy right now, it's being pulled into the spotlight. More and more people are using it. Banks are using it. Car companies are using it. IBM. If you look on the commercials, I mean, IBM has built its own blockchain, and you hear it more and more in the news. Yes, you could become rich, but it's not. I'm going to spend an hour a day on my phone and I'll be a millionaire in a year. No, it's going to take a lot of effort, and you're going to have to get those numbers up. I mean, I see some people on YouNow, they got like 1 million subscribers or some crap. It's like crazy, but they've probably been doing it for like 3-4 years. Right.
All right. I'm looking at my list here, and you actually answered all my questions that were given to me. That was really good.
Cool.
Yeah, and for those that are here, Jim is going to be here when he can. So if you guys have questions that you think up, maybe after the show or tomorrow, whatever it may be, definitely let me know, because Jim is makes himself available as much as he can, so it's definitely easy to have those answers for you. And with the amount of knowledge that Jim has, this is a great resource to have. So thank you so very much for coming on tonight. And as we move forward, all the episodes are being recorded, and I'm going to do just a specific playlist for the segments of cryptocurrency.
Cool.
So it'll be there for anybody that wants to know. And yeah, I see big things coming, and it's really exciting. So, but thank you very much.
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Sorry about the glitch in the beginning.
That's okay.
So I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna hang tight. I want to see what these crazy changes that are coming.
Oh yes. Yep. It's gonna be interesting. Ooh.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you guys for inviting. Thank you for the questions that were out there. Yeah, Jim is very, very knowledgeable, and that's why I like calling on him to come in and help, because with all the questions that are out there, with something that's brand new in the system, he definitely knows what he's talking about. And who knows, maybe down the line, we don't know, they may see that it's doing so good that their changes might be done here. So it's good for us to all be on the same page. All right, so now we're going to move over to our community standards. Now, these came out 2 days ago. Our last episode, we talked, or 2 episodes, we talked about the terms of service being updated. Now, without notice, these were updated, the rules and community guidelines. So we're going to go over the entire article so you guys know what they are. If you have questions, you can ask them, and you're going to be probably surprised on some of these, maybe even shocked. I know some people have been. Now, let me start with their opening paragraph here. And now you can type in, Google search it, or go to YouNow, Zendesk, and get these answers. You'll know you have the right article because at the bottom of the page, if you scroll all the way down, it says Site Rules, last updated June 2018. The same with the terms of service. It'll say May, I believe, 21st, 2018. So make sure we have the right ones. Okay, so it says YouNow is committed to maintaining a safe, inclusive community. The following standards have been established toward that end and are applicable to all YouNow users. Violation of these standards may result in account suspension or a permanent ban. To protect the integrity of the community as the provider of the service, YouNow reserves the right to suspend or remove any account at any time for any conduct that is determined to be inappropriate or harmful. And now we get into what those are. Okay, violent behavior and or self-harm is not permitted. Safety is YouNow's top priority, and we take threats of violence and self-harm very seriously. We may ban users whose content breaches these terms, and may also report it to law enforcement if we perceive a genuine risk of physical harm or a direct threat to public safety. This includes attempts of threats to hack or swat others, and if you don't know what those are, I'll explain it if you need to. Similarly, we prohibit threats and threats to self-harm. We encourage any user considering self-harm to seek help, and then they list the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. If you don't know what swatting is, or doxing is putting out people's personal information onto the internet. And swatting is when phone calls go into the police station and a threat of explosion at an address, somebody being held hostage, stuff like that, and they use someone's personal address as the location. So you got the SWAT team coming in, blowing the door off, the front door, to get access, and guns drawn on someone that doesn't even know this is going to happen. So they take this very seriously, and for people that have been on the site, you know that there's been claims of these things happening, and they're done. They're done. No sexual explicit content, nudity, or abusive behavior. Okay, vulgar language. Somebody asked me this before the show. Vulgar language used on broadcast and in chat is against the rules. Here's one that's different. Cursing out other users isn't just unprofessional, it is abusive. So that is a clarification for swearing. Somebody asked, we're not allowed to swear anymore. Used in a malicious way, cursing at someone, cursing them out, it's unprofessional and it's abusive. It's not permitted. Sexual dancing is not okay. Are you a great dancer? Awesome. Entertain your audience, but please avoid sexual suggestive moves such as grinding, twerking, or mimicking sex. If you aren't sure, err on the side of caution. You know, there's people that do this. Hey, Ethan. Users are not allowed to use vulgar, profane, or sexually explicit language on camera or in the chat. Display offensive or sexually explicit images on camera. Perform sexual or explicit suggestive acts. Show sex toys on screen, or dance in a sexually suggestive manner. Now, you guys, it says in chat, there's been a lot of people in the past recent weeks that have been suspended for this by the use of their language towards people in the chat. Even if it's a troll, you can't do this anymore. So there are moderators. I know that they have hired moderators. They're in watching what's going on. So, you know, if your broadcast all of a sudden just shuts down and it's not a crash to the system, I would probably try to relog in and see if you've been suspended or banned. Hey guys that just came in, welcome. Thanks for inviting as well. Okay, stricter rules for those under 18. I know this has been an issue too. Users of all genders under the age of 18 must be fully clothed on camera. Any user under the age of 18 without a shirt may be subject to suspension or permanent ban. This means no underwear, lingerie, revealing tops, shorts. Users of all ages may not expose genitalia in any way. That is definitely an update. Okay, bullying. Bullying, harassment, or hate speech is not permitted. Though we encourage YouNow users to express themselves freely within the community guidelines, upholding respect for all community members is paramount. Users who taunt, bully, use hate speech, or engage in any form of harassment, risk being suspended or permanently banned. Remember the golden rule and always be kind. Now, this is definitely an update from the past that was in here before. Illegal substance use is not permitted on screen. On screen, legal drug consumption, drug paraphernalia, smoking, and the consumption of alcohol by users under the age of 21, not 18, 21, are prohibited. Any attempt to purchase, promote, abuse, sell, or trade prescription or illegal drugs are not allowed, and the consumption of all illegal drugs is prohibited. All illegal drugs are prohibited. Users must comply with applicable laws according to where they reside and carefully consider their audiences with regards to the content they are producing. So let's look at that, because I had a lot of questions about this leading up to today. No drug use, whether it's illegal or legal, can be done online. So if you have a prescription you got to take, can't do it on the camera. People asked about smoking marijuana. You can't do it. and it's asking you to follow your laws where you reside. Okay? And even if it is legal where you reside, it says in the last sentence, users must comply with their laws and carefully consider their audiences with regards to the content they're producing. Now, my demographic is anywhere from 14 to 24 on a regular basis. So if it was legal where I live, clearly there's young adults viewing the broadcast. So that's what they're saying. You must be at least 13 years old to use YouNow. YouNow is intended for individuals ages 13 and older. If we become aware of an account that belongs to an individual under 13, that account will be terminated. Users who are older than 13 may have guests on camera who are under 13, but underage guests may not appear alone on broadcast. That is the same as it was before. Okay, this is an update. Revealing private contact information is not permitted. Revealing an individual's personal information, including email address, real names, location, ID, phone numbers, home addresses, and others is forbidden. We also strongly recommend that you keep your personal information private. This is referring to what we talked about at the beginning. Doxing is when you take somebody's personal information and leak it for malicious intent, so that people know you live, and they can, have people come to your address, and there's crazy people out there. People are going to do whatever they want to do. Don't allow your personal information to go out into public. Prank calls to emergency authorities or hotlines is not permitted. This is the same. It says YouNow does not permit prank calls to emergency authorities or emergency hotlines, and any user who engages in such will be subject to a permanent ban. Okay. Solicitation or encouragement of rule breaking is not permitted. Solicitation of sexual or illegal acts is forbidden. Similarly, it is forbidden for users to request sexual images or personal information of others. It's forbidden to request personal information of others. Engagement in illegal or inappropriate commercial activities or sales is also strictly forbidden. Such activities include, but are not limited to, pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing offers, and homegrown sweepstakes. It is forbidden to encourage the violation of community standards either in the chat or while broadcasting. Encouraging viewers to harass, spam, or report other users is completely unacceptable. It is unfair to them and constitutes harassment on your part, for which consequences may include suspension or banning. Be a responsible community member and encourage users to be positive. This is updated as well because you have a lot of people filing false reports to the office against someone they don't like, and all of our broadcasts are recorded. All of them. So when you file a report, they go back, they view it to see if the report is true, and if it's not, they just said, this is forbidden. They'll take action against you. Spam is not permitted. It is forbidden to interrupt the flow of chat sessions with the use of repetitive typing or activity that makes it difficult for users to maintain a conversation, as is the posting of links to pornographic or malicious sites. That's been the same. It is forbidden to change your chat name or create a new account in order to impersonate a YouNow user. Okay, so if I took a thumbnail and put my picture as someone else here on YouNow to get people to come in and click on that for views, that's impersonation. Claiming to be another person or creating a false presence for an organization undermines the community and violates YouNow's terms of use. Additionally, the creation and use of multiple accounts must abide by YouNow's terms of use. You cannot have multiple accounts. Any abuse or inappropriate use of one account may result in permanent termination of all accounts. Okay, here's another one. No copyright infringement. It says YouNow is committed to protecting the rights of copyright holders and seeks to comply with all applicable laws regarding the protection of intellectual property. Unauthorized, where'd it go? Copy and distribution, modification, public display, or public performance of copyrighted works is a copyright infringement, and YouNow will undertake appropriate steps against repeat copyright offenders. Rebroadcasting others' content without written permission is considered copyright infringement and therefore prohibited. And there is more in the terms of use, which we went over the last time. Respect the moderation team and company staff. This is an added one. The YouNow moderators work hard 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep YouNow safe and clean from all users. The moderation team handles millions of users, hundreds of thousands of broadcasts, and hundreds of partners each day. If you receive a warning or message from a moderator, please respect it. If you believe a moderator made a mistake or behaved inappropriately, please contact us at support@younow.com. For any feedback about other company policies as well as safety issues or concerns. So, when you receive a warning message, if you're in a chat or you're the broadcaster and the chat has the picture, it's a green and white YouNow symbol with red lettering, that's a moderator. Okay, contact authorities for emergencies. If you believe an offense to be unlawful or experience illegal activities while on the YouNow service, please file a formal complaint with your local authorities. We are happy to work with law enforcement on their open investigations in any way that we can. If you have further questions or concerns, please let us know at support@younow.com. Please be advised that in the applicable situations, YouNow reserves the right to report suspicious or criminal activities to local authorities. For more information on safety, please read YouNow's Trust and Safety Hub, which is in terms of use. And if you have any questions regarding these guidelines or the YouNow rules in general, please feel free to contact support@younow.com. So those are the new rules, updated guidelines. Do you guys have questions of any kind about these? Is anything that's not clear to you? Because, like I said, this is what they're going to be making their decisions on when they take action. So, does anybody have any questions? Ghostbat, welcome back. So one of the questions I was given in beforehand was about, is music allowed to be played anymore? And I have a ticket in right now, so they clarify that. What do I do when someone is bullying on YouNow? Okay, so if you're being bullied on YouNow, and the bullying on here, the statement was up, and all the way around is not going to be tolerated, period. Something had to have taken place for this all to come down the line. So if you're being bullied, you need to email support@younow.com, take screenshots of the chat so that they have a record of what was going on that you're reporting. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen since the previous recent weeks that people have been suspended or banned. So the other thing you need to do is immediately block that person so they don't have the ability to come back into your chat. I get told this almost daily when someone comes to me asking, what do I do? And I tell them to block them. Oh, I did, but they're still there. They're not. And this is where I'm finding people with malicious intent. They want someone off the service because they don't want them here. So remember, false reports, they will know about it. Sorry, Miss Parts, can you still get drunk whilst you're live? No, you cannot. You cannot consume alcohol. Well, hold on. You cannot consume alcohol on broadcasts under 21. It also said that if you are of legal age to do certain things like smoking or alcohol, that's fine, but you need to consider your audience as well. Because if there's someone that's underage in your audience, they report you, you can be suspended or banned. And that's within the terms that they can do that to you. Okay. Any other questions? I mean, it is like Kyle, you said, it is straightforward, but people like to try to blur the lines. I'm happy with what they've done because a lot of this, it shouldn't have come to this, but it did. Alright guys, and if you do have questions or if someone asks you questions, you can always ask me. I'm on every day, so you can always ask me. Alright, I do want to thank you guys very much for being here tonight. I thank Jim again because he definitely came. He works all the time, so thank you again, Jim. And next week, we have another interesting person coming in, and his name is Richard. I'm not going to tell you any more because you guys will be asking me a ton of questions. So I will see you guys tomorrow on my broadcast. Thank you so much again. Kyle, you can message me on my Instagram. It is Matthew_Williams_media. Exactly as my name is here, but there's underscores in between.